Quaid-e-Azam Zindabad finally coming out in cinemas after a long wait. How does it feel? Fahad.
It's been quite a while now, 2 years to be very precise, and I haven't done any acting for the last 2 years, apart from the commercials and all, yeah. But this is the real thing, this is what an actor lives for. So there was I think discomfort and disappointment, and I was not happy, the things were not going towards the right direction. Finally, I'm happy that it's coming out and people are going to watch it now, so yeah, really happy.
Mahira, as you mentioned that he was not acting and he has not been acting lately, but you made a comeback of sorts on TV while we were not having films. How was that for you, and now returning to the big screen?
Well, yeah, I think the workaholic in me, or just the actor in me, sometimes you're just like, I want to do it so badly. I think if I was busy doing other things, I maybe wouldn't have, but I did feel the pinch of not doing something. And so I did Hum Kahan Ke Sacche The, and yeah, it was interesting. It's very different. I always used to think TV and film is similar. Yeah. I always used to say it. I always used to be like, it's just the same. They're two different mediums. That's all it is. But it's not. It is different, So yeah, I was happy that I went back into people's homes, because it had been 6 years, 5-6 years since I did that, which is also a big thing. That's another kind of feedback you get. It's another kind. I'm sure you get that with Jeetu, right?
Of course, yeah.
So you're in people's homes. That's another feeling, which is very good. But nothing like a film. Nothing like cinema. And if you ask me, I don't know how I'm feeling right now. I'm just happy and excited. I'm a little nervous, obviously. I am nervous. But I think when we'll sit and watch ourselves on the big screen, I think that's when we're all going to get the rush back that, oh, we want to do this forever, So yeah, that cinema has that magic.
You have been in people's homes, as Mahira puts it. Daily, they watch you. Now with the big screen, with the role in the film, what Fahad Mustafa fans have on offer for them this Eid?
See, I have a very different fan following when it comes to acting and shows, I'm one lucky actor who's been accepted in all forms of, being in this industry, whether it's producer, be it actor, anything. So they've received my films, with whole hearts, and I'm really thankful to them. So all my films have already done very good at the box office and everything. But then you see, shows are completely different. I cannot say that audience is going to come and watch movies, but we can only try. And most of the people, they watched my movies and they loved them. But only problem right now that I think is because people are not used to going back to cinemas. So that is one thing, that we will have to work very hard or come up with a very, very good film, which I personally think that we have a chance, because this is the film that can actually bring people out of their houses and make them watch that cinematic experience and everything. So I think this is the last hope. I really hope that they come out and we'll be able to do more films then.
Mahira, do you feel any pressure coming out the movie, as Fahad mentioned, post-COVID, while people have been used to binge-watching Netflix and everything? How is that for you?
No, I don't feel that much of a pressure. I may have felt the pressure if I was in his position, maybe. But I don't. I just feel that it's such a celebration. We're coming out. I know that we've made a good film. I am happy about that, mashallah. Because, there are a lot of times you're part of projects that you are, uneasy about, or you may be, even though I own everything I do, and I'm like, no, it's the best. I really do. But I genuinely think that this is an entertaining film. I think it's a relevant film. I think it's something, I have never seen Fahad like this before. I have not seen a cop film in Pakistan before. I have not seen such sort of action. There are all kinds of things. It's a full-on, what we say in Urdu, a masala film, And it also has a very important message with it. So I think I hope that people come out to watch it, and then it's up to them if they will come back and if they will talk about it, and I think they will. I hope they do, inshallah.
So at this point, can you share what message does the film hold?
Yeah, we can.
There's no one particular message,
yeah.
but yeah, there are bits and pieces. There are lots of things that we've addressed in the film, and they're all there. It's not that it's something new, but yeah, we just wanted to remind people that what we've forgotten, or maybe it's completely out of our system and all. So it's just a very sweet reminder in a way that it won't bore you. It's not going to lecture you, but it just make you feel happy, and you might realize later that this was it.
That I went home with something.
So as you mentioned, it's a cop film, you're playing the main part, and there's a lot of action involved, as we saw in the trailers. How is your character like? What does your character offer?
See, there are a lot of firsts in this film, like a first cop movie, and then this is a musical also. So you see, it has an amazing album. So I think as Nabil and Fiza and me, we've tried to break the norms and bring a cinematic experience at its best. We can only try. We try and differentiate it from the dramas and the films, which most of the films, when I do a film, people tell me, "Aapki film lag rahi hai." So that's the comment that I like. I don't know what we do or what Nabil is doing, but at least there is something right about it. If people are saying that, so I really hope that it does well, because as you said, it's a first cop film. Nobody's done that before. Or maybe lately nobody has done it. So we are only trying and create characters that people can relate to for a very long time, and we can go back and make these kind of movies again and again, and there'll be sequels and maybe a prequel, something like that. So it's just a try. So I hope it works.
I hope it succeeds.
Inshallah.
So what does your character bring to the table?
So what he said right now is listening to Fahad, and he was saying that there's not one message, and it's like sprinkled messages. And more than messages, right, it's also the characters that you develop, right? So whether it's Fahad's father's character, or it's my character, there are certain characters you put in there to show, so they're on the right path, right? And to show the wrong, you have to show the right. To show the right, you have to show the wrong. And, that's just how films work, and that's how writing works. But like in my, and when I was listening to him, I was thinking about my character, and I was thinking, the same thing that I was telling someone else when this girl had come to me and said, "Do you have a small role? And why do you have a small role?" I was watching something right now with Nabil and thinking, it's an empowered girl's role. And that is something which is, again, a message, right? Because you play a character, you don't have to, she's not, lecturing anybody or whatever, but whatever she stands for is a message, right? So whether she stands for the wrong that is happening around in the society, whether she stands for someone Eve teasing her, or cracking some jokes about a girl who's on a bike, and she which happens all the time, and she tells him like, "Shut up," or whether it is animal rights or human rights for that matter. So that's the kind of girl she is. She's a girl who doesn't think about social norms, societal norms. She does what she wants to do, and she has a very strong moral compass, and she believes this is right and this is wrong.
So the action sequences, or as you mentioned during the trailer launch, sequences with animals, how was that? Some fun moments from the sets, if you could share with us.
I remember the day when they actually had this lion on the set, and that was scary because I knew that there is a lion involved, but then to be that close, it was a little surprising, and I had no clue. I was so scared of lion, So I told Nabil then, and I was like, "Yeah, is this really happening? I thought you were going to do something CG or some VFX, and that he keeps talking about everything." But then that lion was real, and it was right there. And in the end, it's a lion. So what do you do with that? But then we ended up acting with the lion also, and it was a little scary and fun. But I don't really want to remember that day. It was not a fun shoot.
Can I tell you, one of my first scenes that I recorded was this scene where she's on the bike, and on the bike she has a little puppy.
Carrying her.
Yeah. And there are some moments, like imagine it's your first sort of actual scene happening, and when he brought the camera close to the puppy and myself, and I was doing to the puppy just turned his face and started kissing the little box where I was. And Nabil's like, yaar, you know, sometimes you just get these little. So we got a, yeah, actor hai ye. So actually, we had all these little moments. Then I was thinking about the day that I felt very, initially there's obviously a little awkwardness. Does he get how I act, or do I get how he acts? Everyone has a style and a sort of method. But the day we went to that scene where we scream.
Yeah.
That day, actually, I felt, there was this like energy, and we were both totally in sync. Also, that scene where we had to both be screaming at the top of our lungs, So it's a lovely, lovely scene, and we had a really, really good.
And I felt like screaming, for quite some time,
Me
because
too.
we were shooting every day, 6 o'clock. So that was very genuine,
It was a genuine scream
yeah.
that came out.
Yeah.
So, 2 other superstars coming out in another movie. How does that feel? Do you look at it as a competition?
I don't.
I think it should be a collective thing, and it is, because right now both these films actually need each other.
Yes.
To be very honest, so it's not time to compete, but collectively as a unified group, we should be working together, and that's what we are. Because we knew that these 2 films are going to come together. It was on the cards from the beginning. So nobody's scared or something. We actually want one has to win. It doesn't matter, but both should do decent.
And he's right. It is, it's almost like so much is riding on both the films, right? I mean, and it'll be a huge thing, and I think it will happen, that both these films are able to get people out to the cinemas. Inshallah. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing that these 2 films are coming together. They both will help each other. And he's right. We should collectively, be like...
Work for it.
Work for it. Go watch.
So go watch
London
Nahi
Nahi
Jaunga.
Jaunga.
Please do that.
So, speaking of the current scenario, how do you look at the revival of local cinema? Because even pre-COVID, there were things that were not too well compared to the previous year, and then COVID hit. So, where do you see the cinema stands right now?
It completely depends on these 2 films, to be very honest, right now. So I don't have a very long plan for it, because I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm really hopeful, because I tell you, I have this film department in my production house, which I created in 2019. We were working on 4-5 scripts, so I had a plan of producing 4 films a year. Wow. And that's why I hired a couple of directors, and they're still in my office, and hoping that films should do well and will do well, so that we all start making films again. So that was the plan, and I'm sure a lot of other directors will be waiting. So I really hope that these 2 films, they do well, and we start our cinema journey again.
How do you think we can improve in terms of prospering our cinema, and how can we get back at it and improve?
When these films will do well, and we are hoping and we are pinning our hopes on them, inshallah, that they do well, suddenly there's hope again. The minute there's hope, the minute you feel, because at the end of the day, it is a business, right? Even though we don't get much out of it, for a lot of us, it's a lot of pleasure, and the pleasure of being part of or making cinema. But at the end of the day, it is still a business. And if people feel that, I can make something and, still profit from it, then he said in one of the interviews, he says, the day that these films do well, you see how you'll start having producers and writers prop up and be like, film. Because that's exactly what happened a few years ago, right? The minute films started doing well, everybody wanted to be a part of it. So that, otherwise, I think that we do need things like which the government has already done, some tax relief. We need the ticket prices to be much more affordable. What else can we do? And we need to make better content.
And we can make different films.
And we can make, yes.
Like if these films do better, I don't think rest of the filmmakers should just, replicate the entire formula and come up with 5-4 similar kind of films. That is not going to help. So you should make a film that you think that your heart is, into it, and you really love the plot of the film, and it's coming out of your heart. Otherwise, there's no point.
Speaking of promotions, are you promoting it nationally, or even plan to promote it outside Pakistan? And where else is the movie releasing?
Well, it's releasing in 14 countries simultaneously, and see, it's not easy to release films abroad because it takes a lot of financial setup and everything. So, but we are trying to release it in England, that I know of, in America and UAE and all these places. So I don't know the exact cinemas and what cinemas are we going to, but yeah, it's releasing everywhere.
So we're going to UAE, where there's a huge market, and then we're going to America to promote a little bit. But you know what I think? I mean, I'm not saying this because I don't want to promote. Like we've been at it. But I do think that social media, the one good thing is that it just takes you everywhere,
And you see, I was out yesterday and I was at an ATM, and then I went to a shop. So I met like different 4-5 people, and everybody told me, "To phir Quaid-e-Azam hai Zindabad." I was like, okay, so, the word is, there. Everybody knows about the film. So I think people know about it when they see a good film or a good trailer. So they can actually come out of their houses and watch.
So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for your time, and all the best for the movie.
Thank you so much.
God
Thank you.
bless.